All right, there's 30 seconds till the bell opens. Watching CNBC, checking to see what's going to be on my playlist today, and some of the things that are moving. Obviously, Palantir, that's a given. Apple. Again, why do you look at stocks? And don't get me wrong, there's stocks out there, guys out there that make a ton more than I do. I'm not even going to pretend otherwise. Guys who video and don't video. I just do what I do, and this is basically for people that I know. So I got Tesla up there, Nvidia, Robinhood. I saw, a lot of people have been talking about that today. So let's see what hits out there today. See what's looking good. So right now, Palantir's up there, Tesla, Apple. Oh, Apple made a nice little dip down. So let's take a look at Apple. Um, Here we have Palantir dropping down to 132. Okay, so let's see what it does. I really don't want to look at a breakout right this second. So let's see what Apple's doing. Apple is at 202. All right, so with Apple, we might just take a little short position on this right now because it's definitely shot up there for a little bit. It's at 202.50, 202. So yeah, we might just do a small position, nothing major, because obviously, like I said, you see something in the beginning. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of positive momentum on this. So I'm definitely going with the flow today. So I'm not about to jump into something that doesn't make any sense. So 202.30, Palantir is at 133. Okay. And then we have Tesla. All right. Tesla's at 347. Still hanging out there. Okay. So right now we haven't done anything this second. We're just giving it some time. I'm not, you got to be. So Apple looks like the one I might want to jump into in a second. That is the one I'm looking possibly to short in a second. So let's see what happens. All right, I just jumped in at 202.31 for 1,000 shares. It seems to be catching a red candle. Let's see what happens. All right, we're down 2,000 shares, 3,000 shares, 4,000, 5,000. All right. Let's see if we get that downward push onto it. Okay, it's a 202.09. Let's see if it can break down below 202. There we go. We just need a little bit more. Okay, we made 370 on that. We closed out the trade. Like I said, that is not something I want to say that this is what I'm going to do. Obviously, the market is positive today, in my opinion. So let's see what happens. Now we got Palantir starting to fall down to the downside, and that's one that I want to go long on in a second. So let's see where we can go long on this. All right. So we're going to start going into Palantir right about now, VWAP. It's a tremendous, the dogs aren't happy about me going to Palantir, but hey, whatever, right? If it breaks above VWAP, then we're going to load up on this thing big time. But you're also looking that this can go down to 132. Right at 132, that's when I really want to load up. There we go. There we go. Okay. There's the flush. We just went in for another 1,000 shares. 3,000. It's at 132.13. Touching on that bottom part. 131.89. we've increased our size to 6,000. This should be the flush that we needed to get in there at 132. 7,000, 8,000. All right, we're fully committed into this right now. So we're in at 132.20. That's our price. So let's see this thing take off, and then we'll have a nice day and we'll call it a day. All right. So we're at 131. It's trying to hold that 132 level, which I think it's going to. It's broken it now, but I don't see. I see it definitely recovering on the 132. That's the level you want to hold on to. But again, this is something where right now I'm down about $5,000. Okay, $5,800. So it's the game I play. I'm down. You know, I'm down. But my belief is that this is the point where it's going to have a reversal on it. Okay. For me to make that kind of money, I've got to be willing to jump in and say, okay, fine, this is what I'm going to risk at this point. Now, is it for everybody? No. You know, if you want to play 9,000 shares, that's what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have to play that, and you're going to have to be willing to ride the down part of it, because it's not about, oh, I'm down 7,000. That's not the point. The point is I'm only down 40 cents, 50 cents. You know, if I was playing 100 shares, this would be nothing right now. But to make 6,000, even though it looks like oh my God, you're losing a ton of money, it's not. You know, I'm in at 132.20. I'm down 80 cents. I'm not even down $1 at this point. Okay, that's how you have to look at it. It's how much are you willing to go down? I'm willing to go down $1.50 to $2. So if I'm willing to go down $1.50 to $2, that's $16,000. Okay, that's what I'm willing to go down to, because I think I'm right at 132. So if I think I'm right at 132, then great. So I'm in at 132.20. It's at 131.71, and hopefully this is the turnaround right now. If this can turn around and get jetted up there, which is what I'm looking for, okay? I'm hoping that it cleared out all the selling pressure, but there's a lot of selling pressure, no doubt about it, okay? There's a lot of selling pressure on this thing right now. So here we are. Okay, let's see. 131.85, 87, 90. Come on. Let's get past 132. It gets past 132, then we got to get to VWAP. And then if it breaks VWAP, I'm going to have a killer day. Simple as that. If it gets to VWAP and breaks up there and we catch that bid on there, then we'll be looking at $10,000. Simple as that. So it's trying to hold at that 132. And then if it breaks through that 132, which it's trying, you know what I'm saying? That's my belief, that it's going to go above 132. So it's holding. Come on, we need this one right here. Come on. And a lot of selling pressure going on, but the candle has not closed out this second. Look at that. So I'm down about 2,300, 22, something like that. And now we got that green candle going. Come on, there we go. Come on, there we go. 132.09, 12, 14. Let's just pop above here. We pop above here, we're looking at 133 then. 18, 17, come on. Oh, it's trying so hard. Come on, let's go. 11, 14. I'm right there, come on. I'm pennies away right now. Pennies. 2 cents away, 9 cents, 11, come on. What you're gonna see is, you're gonna see this thing, when it takes off, it's going to take off. It's holding. If it flushes, it's going to flush. But my feeling is that it's going to jet through 45 in an instant. But like I said, this is a stock market. If I knew every trade that was going to happen, I'd be a freaking billionaire at this point. So nobody knows. You know, there are guys out there that I totally respect that do something totally different than I do. Okay, at least that candle was bought up immediately. Immediately. So you saw that flush down, but the candle was bought up. Now we have to have it turn around. If this candle turns around, then we should be done with the selling. But like I said, that candle was immediately bought up, okay, which is great. It just goes to show you that at 132 on that candle, you can see there is a ton of selling pressure going on there, okay? And if we were to go through this, you could see on level 2 right here, how much is flying through there right now. Amazing, amazing how much selling is going on there. So right now we have a tremendous amount of selling going on, and we're into this for about 10 minutes. This trade's going on almost 11 minutes, okay? And we need this thing to jump up, break through 132. If it breaks through 132 and holds it, and we're getting there, okay? And you can see every time it hits 132, there's just stacks and stacks of order on that list, okay? Stacks of order, okay? When we get to 132, you just see it starts getting flooded down there. So we've broken through 132, but it's still being held down. You see there, oh man, look at the size of those orders at 132. Just a tremendous amount of selling going on right there. So I have not made a penny on this yet. Oh, there we go. I saw for a second I was making money. 1 second I was making money. But again, I want a home run on this, okay? I'm down $1,000, 1,500, give or take. And for a second I was up a couple $100, which is not worth my time or your time or anybody's time, you know? When you're putting this kind of money into the game and you're trying to make a profit, if every time that you go in there, you're gonna, take $300 and run with it, but you're willing to lose $6,000, $7,000, that's a fool's game. That's all that is. You kidding me? At that point, you're gonna lose 10 times out of 10, guaranteed, okay? Because you just can't do that. You've gotta sit there and be patient and say, okay, fine, I want a winner. I want a winner that's gonna give me back 1-to-1. If I get a winner that's 1-to-1, then I'm fine with that. So right now, here we go. We're hitting VWAP. If it goes crushing past VWAP, we should get a nice thing. But you're going to have, the chance of a rejection of VWAP is there because that's what it is. It's the volume weighted average price. And that's where you get a ton of selling pressure on there. A lot of buying pressure on the reversal too, but that's the line in the sand. Whenever you see VWAP, that's where people are making up their minds. Is this stock worth it or is this stock not worth it? Is it going up or is it going down? That's the telltale sign. My belief is it's going to be a positive day. We're going to see a nice chug up to 133.52 minimum. And if we see this candle close above it, then we're going to starting to see that positive flow upwards. That's what we're trying for. That's what we want to look at. So we need the reversal to happen right now. We need the bid to start catching. It's above 132. Let's just see this thing take off. It's in the 30s. It's touching VWAP one more time. It should break through it, and there it goes. So right now, it's got to break past that 47 level right there. It's got to break past right here. This is the most important thing right here. This line in the sand right there. It's got to get past 51. So it touched it, and you can see it touched it, and it came right back down, okay? So it goes to show you how important these lines are because the lines tell you where the pressure is going to come from. And it's not that it's, oh my God, yeah, there's a line there. No, it's because people load up their orders based on those numbers. That's why. So, the indicator becomes the proverb and the proverb becomes the indicator. So that's what you have to look at. Right now, like I said, it's going above it, but the window between VWAP and then, let's see, it just dropped down, okay? But the window between VWAP and then your next level up there is literally 14 cents. So the good thing is you had that tremendous flush, okay, where it went down to 68, a tremendous flush. it's being bought up in chunks, okay? So they bought that up in a heartbeat. Look at that. Look at that. That candle was bought up in a heartbeat. What that candle tells you, if this closes like this or possibly green, we're set to go. We are set to go at this point. Right now, this basically says it's just cleaning out the reds, and there we go. Now you're looking at this is going to take off. There's no doubt in my mind at this point. Now we're going to crush past that 51. It's been cleared out. So, I mean, like I said, there's a ton of selling going on, but in my mind, that has been cleared out right now, and they're not going to let this fall down. They're not going to let this fall down. As much as there's selling pressure going on, it's being bought up in huge chunks. Whenever you see a candle like that, right here, when you see a candle that was a flush down red, and then it's able to be bought up and become green again, that is a true sign that it's a positive upward tick. Now, by the same token, if it was the reversal, like here, that's right here, now you could say, okay, that's a downward sign, regardless of what the next candle is. This is a downward sign, that's a downward sign, and then you could see at 132.64, we end up going to 131. That's end up what happening, okay? So right now, we have to crush past 51. Once you get past 51, it should be smoother sailing, okay? So it should be smoother sailing, and there we go. There we go. That's it. All right, so 16 minutes, and I'm up about $4,000, and that's what I wanted to see. So now, do I think this is going to keep going? Yeah, I'm still looking for 133.40. That's what I'm looking at. But at the same time, I'm up $4,500 on this right now, $4,600. And to be honest with you, whenever you make $5,000, guess what? It's time to say, hey, listen, it's time for me to start taking my chips off the table. Simple as that, okay? So I'm up 4,200, 4,100, 45, 52, 55. Let's see what the candle's doing. Candle's still going up, still chugging up, okay? That was a nice move up there, and I'm a second away. If I get down to about 3,000, I'm going to call it a day, because I just flushed down to 3,000 for me in a heartbeat. That pissed me off. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You know, sometimes when you're dealing with such large numbers and stuff, it happens, you know? So at this point, I'm at up 3,741, and let's see what happens on this candle. Everything's being bought up. Everything's being bought up. But, like I said, nothing goes up straight. My theory is make your money, get out. Simple as that, you know? So is it going to be a $10,000 day? Who knows, you know? You never know, man. Simple as that, you know? Now, was this a great trade? No, it really wasn't a great trade because I was down as much as $6,500, even though I'm up 41 right now. 1-to-1 is what I consider a decent trade. 2-to-1 is a great trade. When I lose, I lose. So this, honestly, this would not be considered a great trade by a long stretch of the imagination. You know, I'm basically 0.5 on this trade right now, even though I'm hoping for 1-to-1 to have 6,000 on this thing. So if I were to close this out, like I said, and you know, who knows if I'm going to or not, but if I'm happy to close this out, which, shit. All right. I closed it out. All right, I'm up 2,000 for the day, and that doesn't mean I'm not going to buy back into it. And good thing I did close it out, because look what just happened. I just got crushed down to 132.20, 18. So I actually would be losing money, but I think there was just tremendous flush, and I think it's going to be bought back in a second. So I'm going to buy right back into this, which I just did. So I just bought back 8,000 shares of it. So I'm down 1,300, but I think that flush is going to be bought up again in a heartbeat, and I can make my money on there. So I'm down about 2,100, but I think it's going to hold. I think VWAP is the most important thing right now. I think it's going to hold. I think you're going to see a tremendous push back up there. So I'm basically on zero. I'm I'm on zero right now with Palantir because I'm down about 1,800, 1,900. Okay, I closed out 1,600, but I'm down 2,200 on this follow-up trade. I bought back in, so it's holding 132. And I told you, there's a tremendous amount of selling pressure on this. I'm looking for this to go positive. I was looking at it, and like I said, it broke through. I still think this candle is going to get bought up. This candle is going to be bought up, and I think it's going to charge back up to 133. That's, I think, what's going to happen, but you never know. So we're 20 minutes into this trade. We've got to see some green candles happening. And at this point, I'm down about 1,900 on this particular trade, okay? So I'm in this trade at 132.32 actually. So I'm a little bit higher than my previous trade because I just bought into it back, and I'm giving it all back right now. So let's see what happens. You know, that was a little over anxious, I'll be honest with you. Okay, so let's see what happens. It's definitely dipping down. Come on. We need a nice charge up there. That's all we need. Yeah, you see some of the orders flying through here on the level 2. And they're big. They're big. So I'm still looking for positive. And that's why, you know, sometimes the follow-up trade isn't always the best trade, you know. But if you believe in one thing, if you believe in something and you believe that it's, you know, whether you're right or wrong, you have to give it room at this point to be right or wrong. You can't be scared about jumping in and out of something in 2 seconds because you will always lose. Always, 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 okay? So it's climbing back up there. Hopefully this flushed everything out. And let's see if it gets back to VWAP. If it gets back to VWAP, I'm fine. You know, that's the number I'm in at. I thought it was going to bounce back off of VWAP. That's why I bought back into it. It proved a little bit wrong to me. There was a lot more selling going on to it. So I'm still about 23 cents, 20 cents out of the money. Let's see what happens. I know, right? It's like, so we're getting there. And if this thing can turn around, this will be fine for me. This will make my day. But again, this is one of those things where I bought into it thinking one thing. I should have staggered into it a little bit better. But, you know, sometimes when you're doing this, you just want to click and go and get out of here. I was up money. So truth be known, I should have just said, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. Stagger into this and not get greedy. But yeah, I did get greedy. And that's what happens, okay? And it happens. Everybody gets greedy every now and then. You know, this is, I don't know how many videos in a row now, and I've lost one time, you know, trading with a buddy of mine. Other than that, I've been positive every time, which is good, you know? So you can't really complain, you know? I mean, I look at it this way. So, you know, right now it's touch VWAP and it just came crushing back down, okay? And when I say crushing, it's not crushing. I mean, in my verbal vocabulary, you know, pennies mean a lot. In the real scheme of things, when you're trading with limited shares or low shares or something like that, it doesn't mean anything, you know? I mean, you're talking pennies at this point. So now it's touching VWAP, where I want to be, okay? So let's see if it gets above 50 again. Let's see if it crushes above that VWAP, and this time it starts to do that chug up there. That's what I think it's gonna do. It's trying to, it touched it. Now it's just gotta cruise past there. If it cruises past there, I'm gonna be sitting real good at this point. That's my belief. So let's see, it's touching down. It's cleaning it up right now. We're at 48. 49. Come on, come on. This is the level right here. That's the level right here. It broke it one time, but it's got to clean it, and it's got to go right above there at 52. And there you go. There you go. Okay. So again, we're back above it. We've got another 2100. And at this point, like I said, I think this is the one where it's going to be the one that takes off. We're at 1900, but if it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, if this thing starts to go down again, then I'm going to call it a day. You know, I'm up 2500 just on this one trade. That would put me somewhere in the ballpark around $4,000 for the day. And like I said, this goes so fast, it doesn't make a difference. You know, at this point, like I said, I'm hoping this thing takes off. If it doesn't take off, you know what? I'm going to call it a day. That's all I'm going to do. Now, I could sit here all day long, and I've done it, okay? So I'm going to start scaling out of this trade in a second. If this candle stays red, I'm going to be gone. Simple as that. All right. It's not doing it. And I know it's going to happen. And it happens to everybody, you know. You start thinking about it like, oh my God, you know, I should have stayed in. I should have stayed in, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, we all should stay into a trade. But the reality is guess what? If you did that, you'd lose more times than not, you know. Everybody has a trade. They're like, oh my God, you know, I got out of it, but I should have stayed in. And this thing is killing me. All right, I'm done. You know, it went back to VWAP, and I'm not gonna keep playing this all day long. It tried. That was number 2. So now I have no confidence at this point that it's going to be able to break this level. If you look at it, it came above this level again here at 76, touched on it, and basically it didn't really go. It made a lower high. So at this point, you've got two tops. It broke VWAP one time, 2 times, and it's crushing down a 3rd time below. Okay, so now you have 1, 2, 3 times. It's touched it, and at this point I would be down money. So, you know, I'm up $2,700. I can't complain, and this didn't do what I thought it was going to do. That's the sad part. Okay, it's not doing, but again, if it makes a higher low, I feel confident, okay? But it's not doing what I think it's supposed to do. It's definitely consolidating. Let me see. All right, we'll buy into it one more time. And I'm buying in it very small, okay? So at this point, I'm only in for 1,000 shares. Let's see what it does. I just want to see if it's going to give me that run up, because it's breaking VWAP one more time. Now on this one, if it breaks VWAP and falls below, I have no confidence in this thing whatsoever at all, okay? And it just chugged up to 52. Again, I have no confidence in this. It's going onto your channel, the channel lines right here. It's touching this channel line. This is the 3rd time. It's got to break above 72, and then it's got to start to get into the 90s. All right. It doesn't want to do that, so I'm losing money on this trade. So let's see if it goes above 52. It doesn't seem like it wants to do that, but if it does, I'll jump into it. Let's see. 28 minutes into this. But now is not the time to lose money, okay? Not even close, all right? So there we go. I'm down $70, and all right, I'm gone. So I'm gonna finish the day up 26.30. Right now, I just don't know what Palantir wants to do. It's not doing what I want it to do. It keeps touching on it, and when you start hitting and going below VWAP again for the 3rd time, okay? And again, it made the lower low on this topping tail. So at this point, it could go either way. This is a coin flip, an absolute coin flip right here. It's 100% this can take off, 100%. But at the same time, if it's going below VWAP for the 3rd time, okay? Here it broke 1 time, 2 times, and now it's going back down. It actually never even went cleanly up, okay? So now if it closes below here, you know, then you're looking for a downward press, which I'm not going to play a short on this because my belief and my confidence was that this would be a long. So, I'm not believing that this is going to turn around. And right now, if it breaks below 132.10, you're going to see a flush on this thing because that's the support level right there. And it definitely looks like it wants to go down. So, you know what? For being wrong today, we are right, money wise. Okay. So, for being wrong, we pocketed 26.30. That's for being wrong. Okay. And right now, like I said, I can't tell you. Hold on a second. See, look at that. It just juked you out. That's why you're not going to say, oh, yeah, I'm going to do a short on this thing. Because right there, if it breaks 72, I'm going to jump in quick. But again, this might just be one topping candle on this thing. Look at that. I have not jumped into this. Not yet. Not yet. This might be a sucker's. This might just be a little bull candle right there. A little sucker's bet. They want people to think that it's going to break out, and then next thing you know, it comes flushing down. So you got to be careful with that. I mean, it touched right over here. So it's touching 2 times. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Uh-oh. So it didn't break that 72 level hard. There's a couple orders that came in there, but there was a tremendous amount of buying that went in there, and it rejected it. So you've got a definite level here of resistance. So that's definitely the level of resistance. And now there it goes, breaking down. And that's why I didn't want to jump into that candle, even though momentum says, oh yeah, it looks good. Now, we're in a channel right now, and this is where people get chopped up left and right. At 132.13 and 132.73, you don't know which way to go, so right now this is really a very, very difficult situation. Will it break out? I don't know. Will it fade? I don't know. My gut is that it's gonna take off, and that's what we're looking at. But when it starts to hit to the 70s, you get a rejection. You have a hard resistance. When you get down to here, you're starting to get some support. Some major support starting to get up here at the 132 level. So let's see what happens. It's at 65, 62. Is it going to bounce off VWAP or is it going to fade? That's the real question, the $1 million question right now. Does it bounce off a VWAP and you get, and usually the one thing you have to remember is the more times it bounces off of something, okay? So the more times it bounces off of it, so if it hits here, bounces down, hits here, bounces down, hits here, bounces down, hits here, bounces down, okay? The more times it fades, the less chance that it's going to be a success. That's the rule of thumb. It's not always right, but if you give it 3 opportunities to break, each time is going to be less and less of an opportunity, less and less of a chance of it going through. So, I can say that this was not a good trade. and time to move on. So let's see. All right, so we're done with Palantir. Even though we did well on it, we didn't do badly. Let's take a look at Tesla. Okay, Tesla. Yeah, I think we're gonna short Tesla. A few shares, nothing major. You know, I'm not a huge fan of Tesla. I'll be honest with you. I'm not a bad. I mean, I don't dislike it in any way, shape, or form. But to me, it's just not. It's not where I want to be ever. So it's chugging up there at 349.13. It's up about 2%, which is astounding that it's actually up with everything that's going on. So I'm going to go into this for about 100 shares. Let's see if we can get a little bit of flush going back to VWAP at 346.37. 200 shares, 300 shares, 400 shares, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 1,000. Hear all those clicks? All right. So we're into this pretty heavy. Let's see what happens. Let's see if we make a few bucks off of it. We're looking for this thing to drop down. You know, right now it made a nice run up there. So if we can make 500,000 bucks on this thing, I'll be happy. If we get a full flush on this thing, yeah, I think I see 346.39 because this thing is definitely overweighted at this point, based on the charts, based on the numbers and everything. So if it can get past the $0.50, we'll be fine. So let's see where we're at right now. All right, so we're up 1,200, 1,500, 1,700. And see, this is the beauty of it, okay? Is that right now I'm gonna take my money and leave, okay? 30s. I'd love to get the flush down there to 346. Is it gonna happen? I don't know. You know, you can't wait for the home run to happen. You know, you've just got to look at it and say, yeah, this is what's happening right now. It looks good. You know, we're up about $2,000, 2,600. So this is actually turning into our biggest trade of the day. 2,500, 2,800. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, so yeah, this has actually turned into our biggest trade of the day so far, and which is good. We're shorting Tesla right now. We're into this at 348.74. We got a buck out of this right now, and it's just chugging down. It's still chugging down. We're into this for 3,200 shares. If it breaks 50, I'm going to be gone. Simple as that. Oh, look at that drop. Look at that drop. Oh my God. All right. Look at that. Sometimes you just catch it perfectly. Truthfully, sometimes you get lucky playing the momentum, and that's how you do it. Simple as that. You know, 346.23, 20, 12, 10. Oh, look at that flush. Look at that flush. Oh my God. That is insane. That is insane. Can we get 343? That would be amazing. Do I think it's going to happen? Hell no. You kidding me? Hell no. So I'm up about $9,100, $9,200. You can't complain about that. All right, I'm gone. So today I finished up about 11,469. Not about, I finished up 11,469. And Tesla just made me, Tesla was my big winner. Okay. I wrote that down. I tried Palantir at first. I tried Apple. Apple was a small winner, 370. Palantir, 2200. Tesla, 8839. So 3 trades today. And just to recap, Apple, I was in there early. Nothing great. Okay. These are my trades here today. All right, to the NASDAQ. Here is the executions. The time of the executions. So here was all. These are every one of my trades. Okay. So Tesla I bought back at 348.98. Hold on a second. No, I was actually shorting it at 348. And then I covered at 345.98. So that's what it was. And then Palantir. Palantir I did a lot on. And like I said, I made money on it. Wasn't great, you know what I'm saying? Overall, it was a good trade, but it wasn't awesome, you know what I'm saying? So and Apple was Apple. You know what I'm saying? Let's take a look at Apple. Actually, what happened? Because I'm not even looking at that one right now. All right. So Apple I bought back at 202. So I shorted Apple at 202.31. And I'd still be out of the money right this second. But on the open, let's take a look at the open, where I was. So, and that's what I'm trying to figure out at 202.31. Let's take a look. 202.31. That's 23. So I was shorting right around here. So I did get it right. I would have been out of there with a nice chunk of change. But I can't complain right now. You know, right now, Tesla just made me all my money back. Well, I never lost anything, but Tesla just made me a killing. It's at 346. I covered at 346, and it's 346.02, I think. Let's see what I covered at. I covered at 345.98. So it was a good cover, but look at that. Look at that drop down with Tesla. Oh my God. Drop down below VWAP, and again, reclaim VWAP, holding steady. So you can't complain. Let's take a look at Palantir one more time, see what happened with that. Okay, so it did flush down completely, like we thought it was going to. Well, we didn't. I'd be lying if I said I thought it was going to flush down. I thought it was going to recapitulate and then consolidate here and chug up along here. It was trying to. Good thing I got out of it, because if I had stayed in here, I'd be down right now. Oof. This was the low of the day. So yeah, I would be out. I would be out a ton of money right now. I'd probably be out $5,000-$6,000. Okay, so I can't complain. So again, the recap for the day, simple as that. I traded 3 stocks. On those 3 stocks, I was able to make Apple. I made 370. Palantir, I was up 2260, and Tesla, which I shorted, I made $8,839 for a total of $11,469. So that's where we're at today. So a recap, final recap was a winner. Right now it's 10:13 and 35 seconds. And today is June 3rd, 2025. Jesus. So today I made $11,469, and I was wrong. I was wrong on Palantir. My thought was long all day. I thought it was going to be a long day, to go long, not a long day. But my thought was to go long. I did go long on Palantir. I was down about $6,000, but I was able to recoup and make $2,200 on there. I never lost it because I didn't close out the trade, but I was down. Apple, small trade. I didn't really believe in the trade. I went short on it. Palantir, I was long on, and Tesla, I went short on. And Tesla's the one that I killed it on, where I made almost $9,000. So that's my recap. So 45 minutes trading today, 11,469. Have a great day.